Have you ever heard the story of the man that decided to go fishing? And he picked up his fishing pole, bait the hook, and he cast into his aquarium in the living room. Obviously, he did not read the book Fishing for Dummies, did he? I don't know if you like to go fishing. How many of you have been fishing? I like fishing too. I don't go as often as I would like to. Actually, it's been quite a while since I went last time. But fishing is one of those the one that I know, mental hygiene that you can have. Because you stay there and you're thinking about the fish that is coming in the line. And you're thinking about that. And you can't miss it, because if it bites and you don't pull it, you might miss it and eat the bait and you lose the fish. I don't know anything about fishing. I know very little about fishing. But anyone who knows anything about fishing, if you want to catch a fish, you have to go where the fish are. Agree with me? You have to go where the fish are. You don't fish an aquarium where the fish is already caught. I would invite you to open your Bible, the book of Luke, chapter 5. Luke chapter 5, verse 4 to 8. Luke 5, verse 4 to 8. When he had finished speaking, he said to Simon, "Put out into the deep waters and let down your nets for a catch." Simon answered, "Master, we have worked all night long, but have caught nothing. Yet, if you say so, I will let down the nets." When they had done this, they caught so many fish that their nets were beginning to break. So they signed to the partners of the other boat, and he came to help them, and they came and filled both boats, so that they began to sink. But when Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Jesus' knees, saying, "Go away from me, Lord, because I am a sinful man." When I was growing up, I learned at a Sabbath school for kids and a junior Sabbath school. I learned a little song that goes like this. I will make a fisher of men, fisher of men, fisher of men. I will make a fisher of men if you follow me. You learned that too, didn't you? Let's sing out together then. I will make you fisher of men, fisher of men, fisher of men. I will make you fisher of men if you follow me. One more time. I will make you fisher of men, fisher of men, fisher of men. I will make you fisher of men if you follow me. While we learn the song, have we learned the lesson of the Savior taught that morning? Some of you probably already made your New Year's resolution for the new year. And I believe that some of us are making a resolution for the new year and we even forgot about it already. But this time I would like you to make a resolution for the rest of this year that has just begun. To make a commitment to preach the gospel to others.
Amen.
Jesus' lesson is this: put out into the deep water. Jesus was very clear. Put out into the deep water. Let down your nets for a catch in the deep water. And they, my friends, it's a God call for us, for work for Him to go and preach the gospel. It's a call that God made to each one of us to do the job that He entrusted us to do. Away from the comfortable shorelines. Get out of your love seat or your recliner and go. Miles of the shore. Out out in the deep water. Away from the comfort zone. Away from the shelter harbor. Push out into the deep and let down your nets out for a catch, because God knows landlubbers, shore huggers don't catch many fish. Now, friends, I don't want to misunderstand you, but you could be that God is more passionate about the fish in the sea than he is for the fish in the aquarium. Let's open our Bible book of Luke, chapter 15, verse 7. Luke chapter 15, verse 7. God is more passionate for those who are lost than he wants to save. He is not, the ones who are already saved, you don't need to save them. Luke 15, verse 7. Just so I tell you, there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous person who needs no repentance. Amen. Heaven will be happier over one lost sinner who returns to God than over 99 others who are righteous and have not gone away. Let's turn to Mark chapter 2, verse 17. Mark chapter 2, verse 17. When Jesus heard this, he said to them, those who are well have no need of a physician. So the ones who really need for us to go to fish them, it's out there. Not in the church, not in the aquarium. Those who are well do not need a physician, but those who are sick. I have come to call not the righteous, but the sinners. That's what Jesus came to call. I came to call the sinners, not those who think that they are already good enough. And that's the reason Jesus is calling for this new year into the deep, deep water. Go out, Jesus said. Go out. Let down your net for the catch. Congregations and aquariums are stocked with saved. Now go out where is the deep. Where is deep water. There you can catch fish. Now, there is one more thing. Let's be honest. If you take Jesus' advice seriously, throw your nets into the deep, deep water. Because when you throw your nets into the deep, deep waters, you may catch more than the good fish. On your adventure and going trying to find Nemo, you might find a lot of other fish that are not Nemo. You may catch more than a clownfish, and they really can spoil your nice and clean aquarium. Because when you are out fishing Nemo, you might catch people with sexual dysfunction. You might catch fish with devices and even transmittable disease, unclean, unsuccessful, fish on their third, fourth marriage, just like that fish that Jesus caught by the well. Let's see what Jesus said in John chapter 4, verse 18. John chapter 4, verse 18. John 4, verse 18. For you have had 5 husbands, and the one you have now is not your husband. What you said is true. That's the type of fish that we're going to catch if we're going deep in the waters. Lady, Jesus said, you have 5 husbands, and the one that you have right now is not your husband. But Jesus catch her anyway. Which of course give us more enthusiasm to go and catch fish in the deep water. Now, friends, when you go to the deep, deep water, you can catch fish that are not clean. Stinky and messy fish that have failing love. And the life just like her can come into your net. Oh, don't worry, Pastor, don't worry. When they come in here, we'll scale them up, we'll clean them up, and we'll make them just like us. I wasn't worried about that. Oh, there is some more, Pastor. If we don't like them, we throw them out. I was worried about that too. Matthew chapter 37, verse 47. Matthew 13, verse 47. Matthew 13, verse 47 to 50. And you know what else? Once upon a time, Jesus told a parable in Matthew chapter 13, verse 47. And he said, again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net that was thrown into the sea and caught fish of every kind. When it was full, they drew it ashore, sat down, and put the good in the basket and threw out the bad. So it will be in the end of age, the angels will come out and separate the evil from the righteous and throw them into the furnace of fire, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Did you notice who does the cleaning?
Jesus.
The angels will come and separate the wicked people from the godly, throwing them in the furnace fire, and the other one keep it safe. There will be a weeping and gnashing of teeth. Jesus' point is clear. The skinning, the scaling, the filleting, its frying will happen in the end, and it's done by celestial beings much wiser than you and me.
Amen. Amen.
It's not up to me to do the cleaning. The angels will come and make the cleaning. So this new year, friends, let's go out in the deep waters. Let's go out in the deep waters. Let down the nets. And whatever comes in the nets, let the angels make the separation. Let the angels separate them. Sometimes we think that we cannot catch any fish. Sometimes we get discouraged because we feel that no one would come. But the thing is, friends, you see, we are the ones who set limits. For God, there is no limit.
Amen.
There is no limit for God. Jesus said to Peter, cast down your nets into the deep and let it down for a catch. All to the deep, deep water. That's where you have to go. All we have to do is let down the nets. And what's the limit? There is no limit. We are the ones who put limits. The limits when Jesus asked Peter to cast down his net, let down his net for the catch, the limit was the net. Everything that net could catch, it did. It's not up to me to make the separation either. You see, Jesus came to save the lost. We are here to go after the lost. We're not here to save the ones that are saved. Jesus was very clear. Go in the deep waters. Let down your nets to catch. And don't be afraid. I will make you a fisher of people.
Amen.
And Peter, looking at Jesus, said, Master, go away. I'm a sinful man. We all are, don't we? We are all sinful. We all need Jesus. But when Jesus asked that he's going to make a fisher of men, do you know why? Because fish are our Father's business.
Amen.
And that means if you are God, Son of God, then you have fishing for a future. No matter what profession you have, no matter if you have a master's degree, doctorate degree, college, or what profession you have a fishing for business. For Jesus, there is no limit. Let's not put limit. Let Jesus make the decision. And whatever fish we catch, friends, do not do the scaling and the cleaning.
Amen.
Do not do the filling, the frying. Let the angels do that. That's up to the angels to do. What we all have to do is listen to Jesus. Go out in a deep, deep water. Let down your nets for the catch. When you do that, Jesus will make everything else happen.
Amen. Amen.
This morning, I would like to invite you to make a new commitment with God. If you haven't made yet, I would like you to make a new commitment with God. But Lord, I want to go out in the deep waters. I want to go fishing people in a deep, deep water. But I need your help. And God, Jesus said when he left, he said, I will be with you. I am with you to the end of age. So we don't have to be afraid of going. Follow what Jesus commanded. When I was in Brazil many years ago, I had opportunity. I used to work in a bank, and I had a friend that used to work in the office, and I had opportunity to every often go to a farm where his father used to have by 5 hours from big city, and we used to go there because it was very relaxing. And his parents used to grow chicken in that farm. And I remember that every time we went there, we had chicken for lunch. And one day we got there and said, well, let's go fishing. And we decided to go fishing. And we just sat there, quiet and fishing. We caught about 12 good-sized fish. And we brought back to the house. And we gave to his mother, and then said, well, we can have fish for lunch today. We told her. When we sat at the table and were waiting for the fish to come, and no fish, I saw chicken, I saw everything else, and I said, Mom, when is the fish that we caught this morning for us to eat? And she said, well, I didn't make them, I just cleaned them up and I put them in the freezer. But we don't want chicken. We want the fish that we caught. You see, very many times we catch fish and we want to do the cleaning and preserve the fish the way we want them to be. And the Bible is very, very clear. Let the angels to do that. Angels from heaven, beings much wiser than you and me, to do the cleaning, the filleting, and the frying. Amen. It's not up to you and me to do that. And I want to encourage you to go to the deep, deep water. Let down your nets and let Jesus do the rest. Amen. This is a great opportunity, friend. This town needs to be evangelized. And I encourage you to go. No matter what takes place, go. And let Jesus do the rest. If we follow Jesus' commands, he will do the rest. We don't have to worry about anything. Let down your nets in the deep water for the catch. May God bless you.
Amen.